From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, time once again for Campo's Corner with Coach Dave Campo on the Horse's Mouth, of course, here at Tommy Mac's at my bar, where we're hanging out talking about our great Jaguar team, brought to you by our good friends at YOLO Rum, because you only live once. No question about that. All right, let's get into it with Coach Dave Campo. Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm good. Listen,
welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah,
anytime we're talking football, I'm happy.
I know.
And it's getting close to the season, so that makes it even more
It's
exciting.
now about to be real, right?
Yes, sir.
Before we get
Yes,
into that,
sir.
of course, Final Cut Day just happened the other day, 2 days ago. They're still adding, subtracting from the practice squad. We'll get into that. Last time the Jags took the field was against the Atlanta Falcons on last Friday night. How did you feel overall about the first team, offense, defense, and whatnot?
Well, obviously you know as well as I do that the preseason is not a definite, they're going to do this or do that. Because
correct.
In that game especially, they decided not to play anybody. As a matter of fact, they didn't play some of their second unit guys.
Right.
So the thing you look for in a game like that is execution.
Yep.
And they execute.
Precision. Yep.
And that's really what I got out of it with the first team guys. Now, the great thing about the game, in my opinion, is it gave them a really good look at the twos and the threes. So they really, when Tom, when you put a squad together, the more depth you have, the better chance you have.
No doubt.
And I think they went out and they got some guys like Morse and
Armstead
and guys like that to kind of help them with that starting group. Yep. But I think they've continuously, since they've been here, since Doug has been here, and with Urban the first year, they've added some guys on the back end that gives them a chance to be successful.
No doubt.
So I thought those guys handled themselves really well in that ball game. Yep. But I think there were a bunch of guys that handled really well in all the preseason games, and that's why so many young players made the 53-man roster.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, all I wanted to see was, like you talked about, execution, efficiency, go down the field, score, don't let them score, be pretty stout. They did that. They dominated Atlanta. Look, you play who you play. I mean, you got to go out there. Coach says you're playing a half. I don't care who you put out against me. I got to go play a half. And they did what they were supposed to do. So, like you said, you got to keep it all in perspective.
Right.
In about a week, we go down to Miami. We'll take on the Dolphins for that first regular season game. So I thought that overall was good. Nitpicking a little bit. Two things. One, I went back and watched the tape, the first half anyway, and really watched that first string offensive line. Ezra Cleveland's he's good. He's good. He had a good game anyway against whoever, but he did. He was pretty physical, very athletic. Morse did as well. Brandon Sheriff, man, he's physical, but he missed on that one rush. He's going to get his quarterback killed. I wonder if defenders know that they can beat him on that inside shoulder. I don't know. It kind of felt weird. He just missed him with his stab, and the guy went, kind of went around him, and he got called for the low hit on the legs to Trevor. But Brandon's lucky it wasn't worse. Like he didn't really get a shot on him.
I'm concerned with Sheriff, and it's just age. It's just finishing. I think he's physical. He'll hit you. Oh, yeah. But it's finishing. That once a guy, he gets a guy maybe stalemate, the guy makes a move, whatever, hands, whatever. I haven't seen him. That one makes me a little nervous.
Who are you going to put in there? If you did, who
you know what?
would? You don't know.
You don't know. That's the problem. And I think that's going to be the issue. We have to make sure that we can handle the pressure with the front. You win up front, we know that. And that's the interior guys. I feel good about the tackles. I think the interior guys, I think they're going to have to scheme some runs. It's not going to be one of those things where you just say, okay, we've brought in Morse and we got them all playing together, and we're just going to come out and start bludgeoning people, because really that's not this group. And we're going to have to scheme some runs.
Well, you saw last Friday night, ETN, those two runs that he broke free, that was all timing.
Absolutely.
Hitting the hole at the right time. They blocked it up at the right time. Ezra turned his guy at the right time. He went right by him. I don't know what tripped him up, but nonetheless, the hole was there, and that's what it's going to take. I will say this. I think Trevor looks really good. His passing, he's got precision. I think Parker Washington has really upped his game, which is great. I want to see more from Gabe, but Gabe will get his chances.
Yes.
And then the young kid's going to be good, going down the field. But like you just said, if you can't keep them, upright, it's going to be a problem.
Yes.
I'll tell you this: people, I knew Cole Van Lanen would make the team.
So did I.
Yeah, I like the way that kid plays football, and I think he could play right guard.
Yeah,
I do, Coach.
I think they've got to look at him. I think if they had a problem, I think they would probably go with Little first.
Okay.
Even though I don't think,
guard?
even though
Man,
I don't think it's the right thing, but he's got some experience now.
I know, well, a little bit, but only like a game or two, right? A left guard, maybe?
Yeah, but,
I don't
know.
like him.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think, honestly, and I'm sorry to cut you up, but I think Cole Van Lanen has done a good enough job for me to say he's my number 2 right tackle. Yeah. No swing. Right. Leave Walker behind Cam or start if whatever. He's a left tackle. That's great. But I think Cole Van Lanen is that kind of perfect mauler mentality and athletic enough to be a guard in this offense.
Well, he definitely earned the spot because no one was talking about him, including me, when training camp started.
Not when it started, no, not at all.
So he earned the position. And I think that's important. And you mentioned Trevor.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that really stuck out in the game was red zone. Yeah. And they kind of brought that about, I think, with the first, we've talked about it, that first practice and second practice, they were in the red zone, stressing him.
No doubt.
And that doesn't happen. That's a fifth practice day.
He's prepared. He's prepared for this season. I think they all are. Now it's just a matter of going out there and executing. I think, look, defensively, let me tell you something. Devin Lloyd, did you guys have a bat package? Did I ask you this? Did you have you called it something else. You called it chippings.
Yeah,
right?
Chip.
So it's a chip game.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing that with Devin Lloyd, as you can tell. He goes up to the line of scrimmage, plays a chip game with the nose. What does that mean? He chips the center and lets the nose come around him, and then they both go towards the QB. And you can do it at the end or other end, whatever the case may be. Joe Schmingy did it for us. We called it the bat. That was the bat package. Devin Lloyd is very, very good at that. I'm concerned about his reading from the middle linebacker position or whatever he's playing off the ball inside, because there's a couple plays that were going one way and he was going the other way. I don't know what he's looking at, but they got to shore that up, because one thing I am concerned about, especially going against Miami, can they stop their run game? Can they stop their run game? They did not do a great job, I don't think, this preseason really shutting down anybody's running attack.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a little bit of a different deal when we get to the this first game. I feel like they did, which I agree with to a certain extent. They did a great job this year, coaching-wise, of finding out what people could do.
Yeah.
In other words, they had guys switching in, going to different positions. They had 4 different guys playing nickel to find out, do we let Braswell go, or we got guys on the field that can do that? And so I think they're going to do. They did a good job with that. Now it's continuity.
Yeah.
Now we put the best guys out there, and we do what they do best. Now, when you talk about Lloyd, he's had a little issue with that right along since he's been here. But I think you're going to see a rush package that we haven't seen.
I agree. Inside, though, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. He's not going on the outside. He's going to be one of the guys that rushes, going to pick guys off.
Agreed.
I think that's going to show up in this football game.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch.
Absolutely.
It's defense, offense, and, of course, Cam Little, our kicker. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, the 53 is in. The practice squad is set. We'll talk about different players, what we think, and get you ready for the regular season opener down at Miami. It's Campo's Corner here on the Horse's Mouth from Tommy Max, of course, and brought to you by YOLO Rum. We'll be right back.
Even though we do have 2 different liquors, it's still one name. It's YOLO Rum, and at the end of the day, it's how you feel. And YOLO Rum, you only live once, and that's more prevalent. That's becoming more prevalent as far as the attitude and the mindset with how people live their lives. And it's not about how it used to be as far as people doing dumb stuff out here. It's more of they're understanding the value of their life. And if we can bring that presence of the meaning behind life and what it means to fulfill whatever you need to fulfill in your life that makes you feel enjoyable about what you're doing, that's what YOLO will bring out as well.